Hi, my name is Gerardo Ibanez, and I'm in a group with Pamela Molina and Melanie Moreno for the Miracosta Student Veteran Oral History Service Learning Project in Professor Strona's English class. Our interviewee for the project was Wesley Wilson, and throughout the interview process, we picked up on the fact that he is an A-type personality, which we think helped him in his transition in and out of the military. A Type A personality is someone who usually has attributes such as competitiveness, ambitiousness, assertiveness, and a strong sense of independence. In the following clip, we asked Wesley how he ended up joining the military. He describes how his intentions weren't to join at first, but to look after his little brother so that he didn't get screwed over. Shortly after, we see one of the first traits of a Type A personality in his assertiveness to protect his brother, and in his ambition when he hears what he can possibly achieve by going into the military.
We went. He really wanted to join the army to be a 11 Bravo, which is infantry. And so I was like, oh, dude, that's a stupid idea. You shouldn't do that. But whatever, I'm gonna go with you to make sure that I've heard recruiters screw over a lot of people. So I went with him to make sure that he wasn't getting screwed over or nothing. And interestingly enough, the recruiter's like, oh, hey, why don't you just take this ASVAB thing too and just see where you go? I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Just something to kill time with, take a test. I ended up scoring like in the 90 percentile. And my recruiter's like, oh, this is great. You can have any job you want in the military. So then it got me thinking. That's actually why I ended up joining.
His personality allowed him to take a test just to pass some time. He ended up realizing that his score opened up a great opportunity to choose whatever job he wanted. His ambitious attitude made it so he couldn't pass up the chance. In the following clip, we asked Wesley about boot camp. It became apparent that he was not at all concerned. He seemed more than positive that he wouldn't have any issues getting through it. This is a hint of his personality that displays his assertiveness.
That's fine. How soon after signing your contract did you leave for boot camp?
I left about 2 months later after signing the contract.
Were you nervous going into it?
No, not at all. I guess.
His driven attitude helped him overcome the fear that most people face when going into boot camp. The initial transition from civilian life to military life is at least a culture shock, and Wesley's strong sense of assertiveness helped him go into it with an attitude of, in his words, I couldn't care less. We followed up the previous question by asking him how boot camp was for him, and to no surprise, Wesley said that it wasn't hard at all for him.
Boot camp itself was easy. It's just kind of running, listen and obey, don't screw around, and you're pretty much okay.
His driven attitude helped him persevere through boot camp, knowing it was going to be a breeze on the way to dive school.
Had one person tell me I'll never make it because I was going to become a diver, and the diver has a 95% attrition rate, meaning we started out with only 120 and we graduated with 8 people, and they kind of knew that I was going to be a diver, and they're like, you will never make it. They're like having me stare at a tree, like directly into the tree, and they're like, you're never going to make it. You're going to fail. We're going to see you in a different field. Or you're going to get kicked out of the Army. And I'm like, okay. It was kind of like an instigation for me to actually do better when I got to my AIT because of that. I was like, dude, I'm going to pass because of all these douches. Well, I mean, they're just tests. So, yeah, I mean, you could study with a group member. You could do it by yourself. It really doesn't matter. I mainly did it by myself. I don't study well with others. So the guy that I said that I respected, Rody, when I first got to the dive field, we were running some training. We were using what's called a EGS system. So it's a system that you can just run off dive tanks, but you still run hard hats from the surface. So we're just running it off little bottles, and it's a specialty system. And I forgot to change the air over, so both him and another one of my friends both lost air while they were underwater. So I was in huge trouble for that, and Rody actually was super pissed at me at first. I got smoked for a long time for that. It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life.
That doesn't happen too often?
That never happens.
Never.
That never
That makes it worse.
happens. Luckily, we were in training atmosphere and stuff. But yeah, that was really, really bad.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
That's
that
very,
was.
very-
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you plan on majoring in?
I really want to do nano engineering. So an engineering degree.
Do you think your time in the military influenced your study or your choice of study?
No. Not at
Why did you choose your specific major?
all. I chose it because I'm always chasing the dream of making more money. 10 years from now, hopefully working for Google or doing my own startup company. Don't join the military. Dad will take care of you. And my wife never wants me to join the military again. She couldn't put up with deployments if that were the case. So, love you both. Have fun.